up, everyone, and welcome to Pokemon Heart Gold, but not quite. It's Pokemon Sacred Gold, the Nuzlocke edition. That's right, it is my first Nuzlocke ever, as we have the amazing Ho-Oh swinging by. He's just looking quite majestic there, but contrary to the title you see on the game itself, you'll see in the title of the YouTube video, this is actually Pokemon Sacred Gold, and yes, it is a Nuzlocke, my first ever Nuzlocke, at least on YouTube. I've given them tries before, I think in a live stream once, and in my own spare time, but this is going to be the first one ever on YouTube, and as you see, I now have a little layout which will eventually be filled up with all of our Pokemon friends. So let's go ahead and get started on this, so I can go ahead and explain a little bit of what this game is. I just kind of want to let this music end off because I love the intro music of these games. It is probably one of my favorite intro songs from any of the Pokemon games, but you know what, let's just go ahead and get started. Here we go, Ho-Oh. Lead us to our new adventures, I guess, but I will first tell you important things about this game. Don't worry, I don't need any of this. We are pros here at the MunchingOrange channel, or at least I'd like to think that I know how to control myself in Pokemon after playing it for about 10, maybe more years, but looks like the sun is descending in the sky. So this would be what is called Twilight, wouldn't it? Of course it is. Twilight, you know, the books, the movie, Professor Oak, he's in those. Welcome to Sacred Gold or Storm Silver. So yes, this is actually a duo game as well. I am actually calling this one Sacred Gold because that is the version that I am playing, but Storm Silver is actually the counter of this game, like Soul Silver, and Heart Gold is this one, but they are ROM hacks with an expansion of features, which Professor Oak actually isn't going to tell us, so I will go ahead and do a little bit of explaining to you as we actually set up our whole little character and whatnot here, because we all know how this goes. Anyway, Pokemon Sacred Gold. I am actually, first off, I'm going to say that I am doing this one alongside my friend PokeCinema. He actually started Pokemon Storm Silver. Hope I got that name right, because I keep forgetting. It's Sacred Gold and Storm Silver. So he actually started that one. He is also doing a Nuzlocke, and I'm actually going to be doing this sort of alongside a side-by-side playthrough, I guess you could call it, because this is not only sort of the continuation to Naranja. Well, not really. I did want to do a Johto game, though, because we went through Ash Gray, we went through Kanto, then we went to the Orange Islands, and now we're heading over to the Johto region. And I was actually kind of undecided as to which game to play of the Johto region. And finally, I found these games with the help of him, as well as another friend that helped me find this game, and all of the other sort of games like this one, which are Blaze Black, Volt White, and there might be some others, Blaze Black 2 and Volt White 2, but these are basically hacked games of Heart Gold and Soul Silver, the originals, which add all 600 and whatever Pokemon that are in this game. Actually, in this one, I think it's 493, all the way from Generation 1 through 4. And yeah, all of the information you will need is actually in these files that come with the game, but I will try to explain them to you guys, the viewers, to the best of my abilities, I guess. So as I was saying, this game contains all 493 Pokemon in the National Pokedex for this game, which is all Generations 1 through 4. Let's actually go ahead and go into the computer here as we start off. I named myself Mosif this time around because that's what a lot of my friends seem to be calling me nowadays, so I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to embrace that nickname rather than whatever I usually name myself. So, adventure, excited, I love Pokemon, from Lyra. Lyra is, of course, the girl character of this game, but yeah, as I said, I'm doing my first Nuzlocke of this one as well, which I've been wanting to do a Nuzlocke for a while. I know a lot of people have been wanting to see a Nuzlocke as well, so hopefully to those that wanted to see a Nuzlocke, finally you have that here, and hopefully it is to enjoyment to you guys. And to those of you that don't even know what a Nuzlocke is, which I assume a lot of you by now do, because I know a lot of YouTubers have been doing these, but look at that, she actually gives you all of your stuff right off the bat. The bag, the save options, and your trainer card, and the running shoes right off the bat. Your bike also, look at this. This mother actually knows what she's doing. This is probably the best mom in any Pokemon game. She gives you the bike and the GB sounds, which if you guys don't know will actually change the music of the game to be the original sort of 8-bit, 16-bit maybe style of Pokemon Gold and Silver, the originals, I guess, maybe Crystal, not sure, but let's actually go over to our key items with this nice new layout that I've made. This is actually also the first time I'm using a layout, which is kind of cool, and if we actually use this, you will see the music change. It's pretty awesome. I think I'm going to keep it on for the rest of this episode, just for nostalgia's sake, but you guys let me know in the comments if you would like to see this playthrough with the original sounds or the old sounds. And actually, one really cool feature of Heart Gold Soul Silver is the fact that if you click down here in the bottom screen, you can actually toggle on your running shoes all the time, so you don't even have to hold down the B button, which is just amazing. And in my opinion, I have no idea why it's not in the rest of the Pokemon games. It's probably one of my favorite features. Overall, I think this is one of my favorite Pokemon games, probably after Emerald, since that will forever probably be my favorite, but this is probably a very close second, maybe Platinum is third. But I'm still undecided on my whole list. I just love the features in this game, like the GB sounds, the fact that you can always have the running shoes, this on the bottom, you can actually click it or press Y, either one works. And look at that, we get our bike right off the bat in this game, which is just awesome. Oh man, the bike music from the old games, it was awesome, I liked it so much. But unfortunately, all good things must come to an end as we go into Professor Elms Lab. Here we go! Hi, Mosif, it's been a while for me waiting for you to arrive. That is great. I'm sorry that I kept you. And actually, as we get our first Pokemon, I guess I'll go into what a Nuzlocke is. For those of you that actually don't know, I know a lot of you that are watching this will probably know, but there are going to be some viewers that I'm guessing, I don't know, there's always at least one person that doesn't know. And so if you are that one person that has never ever heard of a Nuzlocke run and are still wondering, what the heck is this? This is just normal Pokemon. Well, not normal, it's Sacred Gold, so it's a little bit different. The starters are still the same though. We have Cyndaquil, the fire type, Chikorita, the grass type, and Totodile, the water type, which actually for this playthrough, I have decided I'm going to be using Mr. Totodile. Yes, I do want Totodile, the water Pokemon. I was actually originally going to use Chikorita, because I don't think I've ever used a Chikorita before in any playthroughs, but I don't know, I've used Totodile and Cyndaquil before, but honestly, Chikorita is just not very good, and look at that, we actually get a female Totodile. I was actually going to name it Jaws Jr., because, you know, Jaws was my original Totodile. You know what, let's go for it anyway. I guess Jaws could be for a little girl Totodile too, it works. I don't know, I used to do, I don't know which playthrough originally I used Jaws in. Jaws the Feraligatr, I guess he became, but he was in one of my original playthroughs, so this one is going to be Jaws Jr. Yes, we're gonna nickname you that. I know it's not very original, but that's all I could come up with this time frame. How do you like walking with your Pokemon? This is another one of those features from Heart Gold, Soul Silver that carries on over into this one, obviously, which is just the Pokemon follow you around, which is just amazing. Probably also why it makes it one of my favorite games as well, but we do have to find his friend Mr. Pokemon, who lives to the north of Cherry Grove City. All the usual. The story isn't altered, so it will be the same story as from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. There might be some little additions as far as trainers goes. Actually, there's quite a lot of additions as far as trainers goes, but the basic storyline stays pretty much the same in this game. As we have Lyra here with her Meryl running around and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. But you may notice up there, or in the top right, I guess, I have added Totodile over on the list of Pokemon. That will basically show whatever Pokemon I currently have in my party, and if any of my Pokemon ever faint, then they will be shown there as well. But yeah, that is, I guess this is best time as any to explain what the Nuzlocke is. I know I've been delaying it for a while, as we have Mr. Silver over here, or whatever you like to call him. I know I like to call him Ginger a lot, but that seems a little bit overdone now. We have to elaborate and call him other things, like, I really don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to name him still, but that's probably not going to be till the next episode. That's actually one thing I could ask you guys, is to help me out with nicknaming our rival character, since we do get to pick his name in this game. But anyway, Nuzlocke, finally going to be explaining that. Basic rules that I have set to myself. Nuzlocke actually has a couple of rules that you can bend to your own liking, but basically the basic premises of it is that you are only allowed to catch the first Pokemon that you run into in a route, which I will be doing once I get the Pokeballs, because I still don't have any Pokeballs, so I can't really catch any Pokemon yet. But once we do get Pokeballs, yes, I guess I know how, Mother. I don't want you to save my money, though, because she just buys you a ton of stuff, and it's kind of annoying, so I hope she's not saving my money. Let me see. Did you forget how to get to Mr. Pokemon? Okay, I guess she doesn't ask you that just yet, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like your mom saving your money in this game. She just buys you a ton of stuff, and I guess she sometimes buys you useful stuff, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it, but the first Pokemon of each route must be caught. I know I keep on delaying this. It's kind of like I have so much to talk about since I'm still here in California, and there's just tons of things to say, but basically the first Pokemon in a route that I encounter, I must catch. If I fail to catch that Pokemon, either by fainting it or just run out of Pokeballs or something, then I basically can't catch a Pokemon in that route anymore. But this here, if I do run into a Pokemon, which I am actually, does not count because I don't have any Pokeballs yet. Actually, maybe I do, but I don't think so. If I did have Pokeballs though, then basically I would have to catch this Sentret here and add it to my party. But since I don't, then, I don't know, my own rules is that I can kill basically whatever Pokemon that I'd like to, or faint it rather. I actually really like the sound effects of this game too. I don't know, I guess it's just because I have the GB sounds on, but the old school sound effects are just awesome. But basically once I do get Pokemon, or Pokeballs rather, I don't know how many times I'm going to say this, but yeah, catch the first Pokemon in a route. Rule number 2, and probably the most important and what basically defines a Nuzlocke run, well, number 1 is that you have to catch the first thing you run into a route, so you're kind of limited, well, not really limited, especially in this kind of game, because all the wild Pokemon have been altered to fit into the whole 493 Pokemon that are in this game. I don't know if it's 493, it might be something else, but I think, yeah, it's 493, and then in 5th generation, it's 649 Pokemon. I wonder how many Pokemon are going to be in, like, the next generation, X and Y. It's probably going to go way past, like, 600, or 700, rather. That is going to be pretty exciting, but, well, not exciting, but there's going to be basically a ton of Pokemon, but, I'm actually going to be speeding up quite a lot of these battles just to show off the encounters in this game are quite different from the normal average Pokemon game as well. There's some Pokemon added to each route just to fit in every single Pokemon into the routes. Well, not every single one, but just so that you can have the ability to catch every single Pokemon, be it by wild Pokemon or evolving some of the wild Pokemon. But yeah, you saw Bidoof there, normally not in this game, not even in this game at all, especially not in this route, but Bidoof is now in here, so basically once I do have Pokeballs, and whatever I run into first is what I have to catch in that route. So that guy there taking a little break to heal up or save his game or whatever he said he's doing. In this episode, I'm actually going to keep it a little bit longer because since I'm still in California, which is one thing I do want to talk about in a little bit, I'm not going to be able to record that often, so I want to make these videos a little bit longer so that maybe you guys can have a little bit more content as I'm not uploading very often. But rule number 2, which I keep avoiding, I don't know, I keep losing track of what I'm saying. It's kind of, I don't even... but Guide Gent here is going to show us around. We really don't need to learn about all of these because this is basic Pokemon stuff that we all should know about, like the Pokemon Center. But if a Pokemon faints, that means basically if it reaches 0 hit points, it is basically considered dead, not fainted. So I can't use it anymore. What I'm going to do is, a lot of people release their Pokemon, but I'm just going to keep them in a PC labeled dead or whatever, but I'm basically going to keep them in that PC. I can never use the Pokemon, but the only reason I'm keeping them there is actually so that at the end of the playthrough we can come back and be like, these are all the Pokemon that help us throughout the journey and died, and that kind of sucks that they died, but they died nonetheless, and, you know, they're there. So basically I'm going to keep a PC with all those Pokemon so that we can basically do that, I guess, at the end of the playthrough. But anyway, that was Guide Gent. I don't know what he gave us in this game. I think it's the old rod. In this game, actually, it's also been altered so that Magikarp isn't the only Pokemon you find with the old rod. You can actually find quite a few different Pokemon, so that's pretty cool. And that's another utility that I guess I can use in this game. I don't know why, I was in between this game and Liquid Crystal for a Nuzlocke run, and Liquid Crystal was pretty tough. I guess as my first Nuzlocke, I wanted something maybe a little bit less hard, I guess, but, I don't know, I decided on this game, which is also pretty difficult, but not quite as much, with, like, so many Pokemon being available and so many different ways to catch them. Basically, anytime I walk into a route, I can either go into a patch of grass or use the old rod now, because there's actually things other than Magikarp with the old rod, which is pretty great. And, of course, we're about to die already, which would kind of already kill the Nuzlocke, so just to be safe, I'm going to use a potion here, because this Tailo is not allowing us to escape for some reason. You know what, Tailo? That was quite an annoying Tailo there, not letting us escape. So if my Mr. Jaws Jr. would have died there, it actually would have quite sucked, because that basically would have meant the Nuzlocke run is over. If you ever white out, it's basically considered a game over, but, you know, the whole point of this is to try and not white out. So if I ever do white out, it's probably not going to go very well. It would end the Let's Play, and because I do want to finish this, then that would probably mean that I would have to start over for that episode at least. But I'm assured that eventually some Pokemon may die. I can't assure that I'll keep them all alive, as it's kind of tough sometimes, but I guess Mr. Berryman here is stopping us for something. But yeah, those are the basic 2 rules that everyone goes by. The next few are actually some that I guess people will alternate in between every single playthrough, and that involves, like, healing and whatnot. This is my first Nuzlocke, so I want to take it at least a little bit easy. Usually people limit it to 1 heal per Pokemon Center per town, so every time you reach a new Pokemon Center, you can only heal there once. I really don't think I'm going to go with that rule. I don't know, you guys can actually help me out with that as well. As I said, in the comment section, you can leave any feedback that you may have as far as the Nuzlocke run goes, as we have Mr. C-Dot here. I think that is actually something that we can kill as long as it doesn't have a grass-type move. We should be okay. Watch it have, like, Bullet Seed or something and just one-hit kill us. That would really suck, but I'm hoping that it doesn't, as it actually goes for Harden, so it probably doesn't, but anyway, I'm not going to limit my healing. Maybe you guys can tell me what's the best way to go about this, but because it's my first Nuzlocke and I really kind of suck at them still, I want to take it a little bit easier, I guess, than most people, or I don't know. Maybe I'll go all balls to the wall. Just you guys let me know what rules, as far as healing goes, you'd like to see, as we have Mr. Padsy here. Padsy the Lotad, you may remember him from adventures such as Pokemon Emerald Unevolved Adventures. That was actually a really long time ago. Rub that berry tree, or apricot, or apricorn, or whatever. I always like how he rubs it. Probably another one of those cool little features, but you may notice a familiar face here in Cynthia, but before we do that, I guess I should finish this up. Basically, let me know what you think of the healing stuff. Basically, I don't want to limit myself to any Pokemon, or, like, to heal whatever Pokemon Center I'd like, but maybe you guys think that if I do that, then I shouldn't use any healing items. I don't know, let me know what you guys think, what kind of rules, if maybe the other way around, like, only one heal, but I can use whatever items I want, just let me know, as we now are going to go and talk to Miss Cynthia here. Hello! Mr. Pokemon said he was expecting a young trainer to arrive. Is your name Mosif by any chance? I see. I guess you are the trainer Mr. Pokemon was expecting. My name is Cynthia. I am a Pokemon trainer who hails from Sinnoh. Tell me, Mosif, have you heard a story that tells the tale of the legendary trainer? You haven't? I'll briefly explain. I wonder who this legendary trainer is. Travels the lands of Johto and Kanto, catching all the Pokemon known to mankind. That sounds actually a little bit like our buddy Red. You may know him. The archaeology in the Kanto region appears to back the existence of this story. It's interesting to be sure. Thank you for listening to me, Mosif. You know, you remind me of a trainer I knew from Sinnoh. You may not know it yet, but I think you are capable of great things. In fact, I'd like to help you reach your maximum potential. Here, let me give you a small gift. And we are going to be receiving an Eevee, our second Pokemon in this adventure. I don't really count this one as the Pokemon of this route because we got it from a special trainer, and I don't think those usually count, but I wonder what we could nickname this Eevee here. Alright, so for Eevee's nickname, I'm actually going to go with a little bit of a science-y kind of thing here, and that is going to be Darwin. If you guys don't know Darwin, he had these crazy theories of evolution, and because Eevee has so many evolutions, in this game actually has 6, because Glaceon and Leafeon are actually available in this game, it will basically be Darwin here because he's just got so many evolutions, and it seems kind of fitting. So everyone, welcome our new team member, Darwin the Eevee. Let's actually put him up first so that we can see sort of what he looks like outside of his Pokeball, which is pretty awesome. I just love the fact that in this game you have that. So, hello Darwin, how are you doing? Sounds like I'm saying Darlin now, or Darling. Hello Darling, is nipping at your feet, whatever that means. I guess it's like nibbling, or I don't know, whatever nipping means. But here we are in Mr. Pokemon's house, looking a little bit different actually. You must be Mosif. Yeah, everyone seems to know who I am. I'm actually pretty popular in this region, I guess. I don't know. Everyone seems to know who I am, so this is what I want Professor Elm to examine. And he's gonna give us the mystery egg. I guess most people know what this is already. It's usually a Togepi, however, I'm not sure if it's actually altered in this game, but I bet you can't find this kind of egg in Johto. Well, I thought Professor Elm might be able to tell what this is. He's the best when it comes to research of Pokemon evolution. Maybe, I'm really not sure what it could be in this egg. He did say that it's not from Johto, so maybe it's actually a completely new Pokemon in this game. But speaking of Eevee or Darwin or whatever, in this game, Eevee actually evolves very different ways, as we have Mr. Professor Oak, a Pokemon researcher. So you're Mosif. I was visiting my friend Mr. Pokemon. I heard you were running an errand for Professor Elm, so I waited here. Even Professor Oak wants to see us. Man, we must be really popular in the Johto region. Everyone wants a little bit of the Mosif. You know what I'm saying? I guess. That's a little weird, but you seem to be dependable. How would you like to help me out? See, this is the latest version of the Pokedex. It automatically records on Pokemon you've seen or caught. It's a high-tech encyclopedia. I'd like you to have it. Thank you, Professor Oak, for the wonderful gift. It is the Pokedex. I've stayed too long. I have to go to Goldenrod for my radio show. That is great, Professor Oak, and he's gonna give us our number. Old men give us our numbers, even though we're like 10, maybe a little bit older, but who cares? Little kids can have old men's numbers. Mr. Pokemon, you got anything else to say? Nope, apparently we just have to deliver this egg to Professor Elm. So, here we go, off on our new adventures. Hey, Professor Elm is actually calling us. Look at that. Hello, Mosif! It's a disaster! It's just terrible! What should I do? Oh no! Please get back here now! Oh boy. Looks like Professor Elm's gotten himself into quite some trouble. I wonder what it could be that he's in trouble with. There's no sarcasm in my voice. I've never played this game before. I don't know what anything is, as we actually get a look at Darwin's moves here. He's got Tackle, Tail Whip. I actually didn't get to see all of them there, but I'm sure we'll see it in the next battle upcoming here. That is actually one of the cool things about having this whole little bottom screen set up. I've actually never done this before. It's kind of weird that I've never done this before, because it's been around for quite a while, but I guess I decided to try it out. If you guys like that, let me know, because, as I said, this isn't something that I've really never done before on this channel, I guess, so it's kind of something that requires feedback, maybe, I guess, I don't know. But he's got Tackle, Helping Hand, Sand Attack, and Tail Whip, so our only really... Oh my goodness! Oh no! Oh my gosh, that was actually really, really close there! Darwin was about to die. That is what you have to expect when you watch a MunchingOrange Nuzlocke, apparently, is... I don't know, it was a speed tie, and then Weedle was faster for some reason on the second try, but Darwin already almost dying on the first episode. Darwin, are you okay, my darling? No, it looks like he's not okay. He's about to fall over. Okay, well, that is actually going to end off this episode as my voice cracks. That was obviously missing in this video, so now you have a voice crack for those people that keep count of those or keep track or whatever, just anyone that enjoys those. But next episode, we're going to be battling our rival, who's actually going to be coming up. So if you have any suggestions for his nickname, be sure to leave those in the comments, as well as any other feedback for my first Nuzlocke playthrough. I guess the first one should obviously be to not let Darwin here die, because that would kind of suck, and then we wouldn't have an evolution. But anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. Those are always really appreciated. So, see you guys next time.